Yo guys, what is going on? It is the Tenacious Gamer, and today is a discussion topic on the game Verdun, and is it the most realistic World War I game on the market today? The first segment will be featuring a fellow YouTuber called TripleEh, and I wanted to feature him in this video because he only has 9 subs as of the time of recording, and I thoroughly believe he does deserve to have more subs and support. Of course, his channel is only under a week old, but I know that content this good at this young is only going to be very, very good in the future. And of course, maybe you guys want to jump on that bus as being one of his first at least 100 subscribers. I believe this guy's going to be big in the future, so go check his channel out if you do enjoy his segment. But without further ado, let's watch his segment on this game Verdun and his thoughts about its realism.
After the third installment of the Call of Duty franchise was released, the franchise started moving to modern and futuristic settings exclusively, until, that is, the upcoming title, appropriately named Call of Duty World War II. Since the last old-school COD game was released back in 2006, we got a quick trilogy of the Modern Warfare games, followed by a barrage of futuristic shooters in these past few years, not only in the Call of Duty franchise, but also in others, including Titanfall 1 and 2, Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, Crisis 1, 2, and 3, Destiny 1 and now 2, and the 2 newer Deus Ex games, not to mention shooters with futuristic elements from different universes like Star Wars Battlefront, its sequel, Overwatch, all of its clones, and Borderlands, just to name a few, and those have all come out in the past 5 years or so. While futuristic shooters can be great, with an exhilarating sense of movement, cool moves like wall running, and even turning back time, plus a whole new world of unique abilities for you to unleash on your enemies, these games taking place in the past had this sense of grit and skill. You felt accomplished with every single kill, definitely more so than you do when you're running and hopping around everywhere, 2 guns in hands, and not giving a damn about ammo because everything is moving at breakneck speed. Futuristic shooters have their own appeal, but a good old-school shooter can have its own set of assets, and those kind of games have been the kind that have been missing from modern titles, at least the big name ones. Battlefield 1 broke the mold, and it turned out to be a success, with the game doing really well, and its announcement on YouTube having a like to dislike ratio of 51 to 1, as opposed to Infinite Warfare's abysmal 1 to 6 ratio. Clearly people were thrilled to have a good old school World War I game, and it probably also influenced COD's decision to make their next game World War II themed. But as great as Battlefield did, and as fun as it was, how realistic was it? The thing is, because it was a big budget game that still wanted to gain mass appeal, it had to sacrifice a lot of realism for a gameplay experience that was more accessible to the average gamer and shooter fan. For example, there were way more fully automatic weapons than there probably should have been, and the gameplay is really fast rather than slow and methodic. Military historian Rob Schaefer probably put it best when he said, "Odd prototype guns, wrong equipment, weird fast gameplay, racing tanks. Endless list. Looks sci-fi to me." While he wasn't bashing the game, actually mentioning in a previous tweet that it was good entertainment, he does make a good point about realism. I mean, do you know how many times actual tank-on-tank battles were recorded? Once. One time in all of World War I. Those things were so damn rare. A lot of equipment used often in the game was barely, if ever, used in combat. It's like if you made a World War II game and every 2 minutes a nuclear bomb went off somewhere. Yes, they existed. No, they were not used that often. So you're looking for a game with great gameplay value while also displaying a lot of historical accuracy. Enter Verdun. The game not only recreates the Battle of Verdun, as well as a few other battles that came before that, but also strictly follows rules that make it a very realistic representation of the Great War, or at least the realest experience you can get on the market. Powerful guns will one-shot you. You actually feel like you're in the trenches, popping your head up looking for threats. There will be gas attacks, and there will not be tanks everywhere. Most of the time your weapons will be bolt-based, and weapons that were rare at the time, like snipers with actual scopes, will also be very rare in the game. It's punishing, but not unfair. While it doesn't have the big budget or mass appeal of Battlefield 1, it brings real war to the table, something Battlefield somewhat fails to do. Despite having a respawn system in place, Encounters feel dangerous rather than flights of fancy, and the gameplay is much better paced. True, it's not for everyone. Some people really appreciate better movement and access to fully automatic weapons. It may be slightly more niche, but it commits to World War I far better than Battlefield manages to do. And while people may argue whether it's necessarily better, it's a much different and much more accurate World War I experience. And at such a cheap price, anyone who wanted Battlefield to actually feel like World War I should definitely go pick this thing up on Steam.
A quick thank you to TripleEh for that overview and insight into Verdun, Battlefield 1, and the comparison between the two of them. So, for this segment, I'm going to be talking about Verdun and comparing it to the biggest World War I game on the market today, which of course is Battlefield 1. Now, when I played the Battlefield 1 open beta, it did seem kind of unrealistic, but I think that was because I was expecting trench warfare and not a desert map. Now, I realised to myself that, okay, World War I was fought out in the Middle Eastern countries as well, and so I gave the game a chance, but little did I know I would be gripped by the gameplay and forget all about the realistic aspects to this game. But, playing Verdun recently, I realised that Battlefield 1 really isn't as realistic as Verdun. Verdun might not have the best graphic capability, like Battlefield 1, but it's a true game with the maps being based on iconic World War I battles, like the one that took place in Flanders Field. Not only this, but weaponry like machine guns are very rare in this game, and the purpose of people playing these roles is to lay fire across the trenches and over no man's land, very similar to how these guns were used during World War I. And if you don't have a machine gun, the chances are you have a bolt action rifle or a handgun, as during World War I, men were sent over the trenches into no man's land to be shot down before they could even reach the other trench. And so armies gave men these rifles as they were cheaper to produce. Verdun is extremely realistic, going from the weaponry to the environment. But one thing that really caught my attention was a game mode that was extremely close to a game mode on Battlefield 1 called Frontlines. Now, the objective of these game modes is identical. Both armies fight for middle ground until that is captured. And from there, the army that holds the middle ground will try to push forward while the defending force resists. If the defending force manages to resist the attack, then they have a chance to repel the attacking wave and try and take that middle ground, while the previous attacking force will try to defend it. And this game mode will continue and continue until one team controls the whole battlefield. This game mode is extremely realistic to World War I, but the thing is that just a game mode doesn't make an experience realistic. It's also the environment in which it is played on, and with Verdun, the use of trenches and blown out craters from artillery makes this game mode feel completely different to Battlefield 1's Frontlines, as every step you take, you are praying there isn't an enemy machine gunner on the other trench about to spray bullets your direction, and every step makes your heart pound. Whereas in Battlefield 1, it's who can shoot who the quickest. Overall, Verdun is a great game, way more realistic to World War I than any other game on the market today, and it's definitely worth a try if you're looking for a true war experience. But I'll still be playing Battlefield 1 as the game is gripping, but I'll definitely be playing more Verdun as the gameplay is as real as it gets. And for $4.95 on Steam at the moment in pounds, there's no way you can go wrong. And later on this year, they do have another game coming out, which is a sequel to Verdun, which includes more wars from World War I and hopefully some graphical upgrades and some minor tweaks to the gameplay. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this brief comparison and analysis between Battlefield 1 and Verdun. And once again, thank you to TripleEh for making a segment for this video. His channel link is in the description box below. And without further ado, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and of course if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I am so thankful for every subscriber I have, and soon I will be on holiday, so this video is just a short video that could fill in spots as I won't be able to get gameplay. But if you do enjoy discussion type videos like this, or maybe similar content to this, then let me know down in the comment section below, as then I will be able to do more of this type of thing, and maybe some more collabs with TripleEh. Once again, I encourage you guys to check his video out, or his channel out, in the description box below. But once again, thank you for watching. I've been the Tenacious Gamer. Game on, stay classy, peace out.